The bald guy Wang Fu also added, "That's right, Boss Wang and Boss Sung can rest assured. We have handled this matter very well." As soon as the words reached their ears, the two men's faces turned pale. Boss Wang stepped forward, ready to slap the other person. "You're not doing anything good, just harming others. When did I tell you to do this?" The other person rubbed his swollen red cheek and replied indignantly, "Boss Wang, didn't you ask us to do this before? I didn't do anything wrong." He was getting more and more angry, gritting his teeth. "All the good things I had in mind have been ruined by you." The crowd applying behind began to feel displeased after witnessing this scene. "That's right, we came to apply for electronic and telecommunications equipment, and you pulled us over here halfway. If you don't explain this clearly, we won't let you off." Trouble was brewing, and these two guys quickly tried to appease everyone. The bald Wang reassured everyone, "Don't be hasty. This is an internal issue. The company can't blame us for this." The other one was a bit more clever, gently promising, but full of manipulation. "Previously, we were workers at electronic and telecommunications equipment. Moreover, everyone just heard that the new boss wants to offer a higher salary to bring me back. With my technical skills, it's easy to bring everyone back too. Come on, everyone follow me." A surprising voice suddenly rang out. "I am Zhang Dingchun." Zhang Dingchun looked at them and said to Lin Ke, "From the perspective of the company's interests, they should be allowed to return. But from my personal point of view, I don't want them to go back. People who are drawn to wherever it's better simply cannot be trusted." Lin Ke glanced at her and replied, "Then let's do as you say. We will hire new ones." After their conversation, they turned to look at the group gathered outside the company. The man with dark purple hair stepped forward and spoke. "Boss Lin, didn't you just say that you wanted to offer us a higher salary to come back? We still feel that this place is better." He pointed at the people standing behind him and continued, "Moreover, I have also brought back some former workers. We can complete the hiring procedures right now." Lin Ke raised a hand to signal him to stop. "Wait, just now you said there were no opportunities for growth here and that you were owed wages. Why are you coming back now?" The man was momentarily at a loss and replied nervously, "There was a misunderstanding earlier. I believe that under your leadership, things will definitely get better." Lin Ke closed his eyes and firmly stated, "I offered it to you before and you didn't want it. You should go to the place that pays better now and stop being an eyesore here. Get out of the way, we have to go, no further discussion." Upon hearing this, the man became startled and frightened. He spread his arms wide to block Lin Ke's path and shouted, "No! If you don't make arrangements for us today, we'll not let you leave." Lin Ke frowned and called out loudly, "Security, get rid of all these people and arrange interviews for the rest." Immediately, the security personnel appeared to control the angry man, causing a scene. Suddenly, a voice came through Lin Ke's phone. "Mr. Lin, the farmers market event will take place next week. Additionally, we have arranged for you a celebrity guest. By then, our live stream effectiveness will be better." Lin Ke replied, "Wait, I have a question. These places are all processed agricultural products, which can be considered poor, right? If it's a farmer's market event, we should go to the poor areas to help them sell their goods. This time, I want to choose the products myself." The person on the phone responded, "This time it involves many relationships and we can't just change things at will. Therefore, I can only try my best to register with the leaders. Whether or not it can be guaranteed, I can't promise." Lin Ke silently looked at the phone in his hand, deep in thought. He instructed Dingchun, standing next to him, "I have a family gathering tonight. You can handle the rest." She cheerfully replied, "Boss Lin, don't worry, I can do it." In a store designed in a unique and beautiful classical Chinese style, the employee standing next to Lin Ke spoke up, "Sir, are you buying for yourself or giving it as a gift? I can help you with some advice." He thought for a moment and turned to reply, "I'm choosing a gift for my future in-laws. Help me pick a suitable one." Seeing Lin Ke speak up, the staff member politely asked, "How much do you plan to spend? I will help you find something appropriate." Lin Ke looked at the items on display in the showcase and generously said, "I don't have any limits, it just needs to be beautiful." Seeing this, the staff member pointed to a bracelet made of transparent jade and warmly introduced, "I recommend this jade ice bracelet priced at $820,000, which is very suitable for women to wear." Lin Ke nodded in satisfaction. "Wrap this one up. How much is this beaded bracelet?" The bracelet Lin Ke pointed to was a simple, yet elegant beaded bracelet. The staff member continued, "It's $320,000 made from royal pear flower. There aren't many of these in the world." Suddenly, a middle-aged woman with purple hair appeared from behind, wearing a strapless dress with a deep purple collar. She asked Lin Ke, "Young man, are you interested in this bracelet?" Lin Ke glanced at the speaking woman and casually replied, "It doesn't look bad." Hearing this, the woman approached and placed her hand on his shoulder, smiling as she said, "Great, if you're interested, I'll give it to you." If you have time later, let's go have a meal together. Lin Ke brushed the woman's hand away and bluntly mocked. Sister, you're quite old already. Don't cling to me. I'm not a male escort. After saying that, he took the gift box and walked straight to the door, not bothering to look back at the woman who was stomping in anger behind him. At this moment, at Jai King Ren's house, she walked in, followed by Lin Ke. She gently said, Grandpa, Dad, Mom, we're here. Her grandfather and father heard this and peeked out, both staring intently at Lin Ke. King Ren's father approached warmly. Ha ha ha, come in, we're all family here. Did you bring something? King Ren's father raised an eyebrow teasingly. Lin Ke, this kid stole my daughter and I haven't said anything. But let me tell you, you haven't crossed the threshold yet. Lin Ke scratched his head awkwardly and replied, I've been busy usually. I only came here now because I have some free time. Hearing her father, King Ren blushed and nestled closer to Lin Ke. King Ren's mother, holding cooking utensils, happily called out, Wait a minute, the food is almost ready. Lin Ke gently sat down on the sofa, patting the empty spot next to him, happily saying to Jai King Ren, Sit down, just treat it like your own home, no need for ceremony, and don't be too polite. Hearing this, she put her hands on her hips and huffed. You really are too presumptuous. This is my home, okay? Lin Ke turned to shout into the kitchen. Auntie, look at your beloved daughter here, considering this her home and bullying me. King Ren heard this and pinched Lin Ke's cheek, angrily saying, Don't think that my mom supports you, so I won't dare to do anything to you. King Ren's mother brought out the food, smiling at the two of them. All right, that's enough. Stop talking and sit down to eat. On the dining table, many delicious dishes were being laid out, such as fried meat, fried fish, and stir-fried vegetables. King Ren's dad asked Lin Ke, I heard King Ren say you're a streamer? Lin Ke took the piece of meat that her father picked for her and replied, I just do it when I have free time. It's like passing the time. He suddenly remembered something and continued to ask, Uncle G, I remember you watch live streams too, right? Do you need me to help you recharge diamonds or anything? Upon hearing Lin Ke's words, he laughed happily. I only watch occasionally. Ha ha ha. King Ren's mother, nearby, was equally excited. She picked up some fish and said, Have a piece of fish, Lin Ke. When are you two planning to hold the wedding? Jai King Ren quickly spoke up. Our careers are on the rise. Why does everyone keep bringing up marriage and children? King Ren suddenly stood up, causing everyone to look at her with surprised expressions. Lin Ke beside her suddenly exclaimed, I think she's a bit tipsy. Let her take a break for a bit before continuing. Seeing him sweating, King Ren handed him a glass of orange juice. Lin Ke grabbed her hand, startling her. His face suddenly turned beet red, and he mumbled, It might be because the water has alcohol. I feel a headache. Let's take a break and then go. King Ren's mother, who was sitting across, gently stood up and said, all right, I won't rush you anymore. Stay here tonight. There are still rooms available. Lin Ke smiled slyly at this and signaled his agreement. He winked and replied, That's a bit too much. It's my first time at your house and I'm already staying over. I'm sorry for the trouble. Upon hearing that, King Ren also made an gesture. We're all family here. No need for such formalities. It's not a bother at all. Jai King Ren looked at the two of them, feeling confused as they played off each other. The sky was beginning to darken, and Jai King Ren's mother's voice echoed through the house. It's not easy to come here, so don't leave tonight. I'll go prepare a room for you two. The two walked into King Ren's room. The room was quite luxurious, with a white cabinet full of magazines and books. The floor was covered with a dark brown carpet featuring a classic pattern. The chandelier on the ceiling was intricately designed. On the cabinet were frames of King Ren's photos from childhood to now, looking incredibly adorable. She hugged Lin Ke tightly and rested her head on his back, asking, Are you trying to have my mom keep you here and then arrange for us to share a room so you can take advantage of me? Lin Ke turned back to glance at her and replied nonchalantly, What are you talking about? You can go to another room. Your house has plenty of rooms. No need to stay here with me. King Ren saw him turn around and seized the opportunity to gently place her lips on his and softly said, This is my room. Why should I give it up for you? Lin Ke was now lost in the sweet kiss, gently removing the clothes King Ren was wearing. They moved to the bed and were ready for a passionate night together. The next morning at Lin Ke's company, everyone had gathered in the meeting room. They politely greeted, Boss Lin. Lin Ke pulled out a chair and sat down, speaking coldly, Everyone sit down. A number of people sitting around the long table listened attentively as Lin Ke said, You don't need to be tense. I have some personal matters to discuss with you all. The aid department has surveyed and found out how many places are in poverty. The representative from the aid department immediately reported, Boss Lin, there are a total of 52 places. The average income of each person per year in these areas is less than $1,200, mainly relying on agriculture, so the living conditions are very difficult. Lin Ke held the report and asked, "Are those places suffering due to poor leadership policies?" A representative replied, "In fact, yes, combined with a lack of investment, the poor conditions have arisen as they are now." Lin Ke gently rubbed his nose and spoke. "First, I will share my thoughts with you. I am currently a streamer, to put it bluntly, an online streamer." Everyone in the meeting room felt very surprised. Lin Ke frowned. "Doesn't anyone know about this?" Someone replied, "If Boss Lin hadn't mentioned it, we really wouldn't have known." Hearing this, Lin Ke turned to Yuan to vent his anger. "Hey Yuan, what kind of business are you running? A big issue like this and you didn't inform us at all." Yuan looked at him in confusion after being scolded. Then Lin Ke turned back to continue the meeting, seriously announcing to everyone, "Right now, we have a live stream event for agricultural relief. What I mean is we need to find these poor areas, help them sell their products smoothly, promote them, and solve the consumption issues in the future." Kang Xiangensao thought to himself, "It seems Boss Lin doesn't pay much attention to the company's affairs." The meeting continued with suggestions from a female employee. "I also have a few suitable places. For example, Lin Cheng from some county, which is rural, primarily grows peaches, but the consumption value is very low, so farmers' income is also low. There's also the hometown of tea leaves. The locals insist on using traditional methods to roast the tea. In recent years, with the development of technology, their annual consumption has decreased and the situation isn't optimistic." The suggestions made by the employee were very relevant to Lin Ke's requirements. He slammed his hand on the table and commanded, "Okay, send me those materials. Also, conveniently contact their person in charge regarding the live stream sales." The employee smiled and then sat down next to Kai Qianzhao. "Yes, I will quickly handle this, provide the materials, and send them to you." Receiving a satisfactory answer, Lin Ke nodded. "Okay, hurry up." As soon as he finished speaking, he put his hands in his pockets and left. The staff also stood up immediately after him, bowing their heads in greeting. At Zhang Xiaoyu's house, Lin Ke knocked on the door. Zhang Xiaoyu quickly opened the door and smiled at him. "Is that you, Lin? Come in." Lin Ke entered the living room, sat down on the sofa, and casually crossed his legs. He handed Zhang Xiaoyu, who was standing beside him, a stack of documents. "This is chosen by someone else for me. You pick out a few places from this." Zhang Xiaoyu took the documents, opened them, and was surprised. Fruits, green tea, fresh flowers, iron pots. After reading, she hesitated and looked at Lin Ke. "Lin, these are all essential items for daily life, but all the items are convenient goods, to be blunt. They are all food and beverages. The consumption of these will not be high. It would be embarrassing if we sell little." Lin Ke listened silently to Zhang Xiaoyu's advice, gently smiling. "What you say makes sense, but if they had the ability to process, they wouldn't be poor. I chose these places because they are poor counties." Zhang Xiaoyu suddenly realized the implication in his words, her eyes brightening with interest. "Lin, you must have a lot of money, right? Help them find some workshops, kinds like fruits. We can process them a little and make fruit jam. Things like that are easy to sell, that we can boost consumption and achieve the goal of the agricultural market." Lin Ke smiled in agreement. "Your idea is not bad, so let's do it now. We can go to those counties and see. It's a good chance for me to go home as well." Zhang Xiaoyu nodded. Yes, yes. She continued to present her opinion. "For things like food, we should prepare some tea leaves, rice, and many other items. The variety should be a bit more diverse. Although the consumption volume is very important after all, this is for the public good, and the agricultural market should engage in some serious matters as well." The ideas that Zhang Xiaoyu proposed aligned with Lin Ke's thoughts. He gave her a thumbs up. "Very good, you understand it now." At Lin Ke's compliment, she could only smile. "Thinking about it, I learned it from you, Lin." Lin Ke put his hands in his pockets and stood up. "Then let's go." He and Zhang Xiaoyu set off for the poor counties. In Jinfang County, many farmers sat by the roadside with everyone showing a frown and displeasure on their faces. Zhang Xiaoyu sat in the vehicle observing and said to Lin Ke, "Lin, look at these people. They all have sour and unhappy expressions. Just looking at them, we can tell that the consumption is not promising." Lin Ke also furrowed his brow. It should be the peach harvest season now, and since the peaches aren't selling, of course, they feel worried. He stopped the vehicle by the roadside and got out to inspect. Lin Ke and Zhang Xiaoyu got out of the car. He approached a farmer sitting nearby and asked, "Brother, how much do you sell your peaches for per pound?" The farmer calmly replied, "We don't sell retail, only wholesale. Over 100 pounds is $4 per pound." Lin Ke looked at the peach and excitedly picked it up. "This one looks good. How many do you have in total? What is the quality like?" The farmer realized the opportunity had come and immediately stood up. "The quality is guaranteed. There are about 10,000 pounds in the warehouse over there. If you buy everything, the price can be reduced even further." Zhang Xiaoyu suddenly suggested, Lin, let's go ask other suppliers to see, and then we can choose a few to buy from. Lin Ke replied, okay. He turned around, picked up his phone. I'll leave a call to contact a few factories. Lin Ke and Zhang Xiaoyu walked back to the parked car. He was talking on the phone with a partner. Hello, is this Wu Tao Yu? Here's the thing, I have a live stream event for agricultural relief recently. It's a kind of public service. He got into the car to continue talking. I want to process these peaches a bit and make peach jam. While talking, someone suddenly knocked on the window beside them. Lin Ke paused the call, rolled down the window, and asked, Miss, what's the matter? Seeing that Lin Ke was willing to talk, the woman immediately got excited. Young man, I heard you're buying peaches. Why not come to my house to take a look? The price is guaranteed to be low. Lin Ke was quite surprised as he turned to look at Zhang Xiaoyu, who was also astonished. Zhang Xiaoyu took the initiative to ask, how much do you sell your peaches for per pound? The woman quickly responded, over 100 pounds, the price is $3. If you buy more, it will be even cheaper. Noticing that the price was somewhat strange but unclear, Zhang Xiaoyu exclaimed, this price seems really good, doesn't it? However, with his years of experience in business, Lin Ke recognized this as a scam. He frowned angrily and replied, you don't need to use these tricks anymore. It's really not interesting. The two stood frozen in front of Lin Ke's car. The woman was furious at his attitude. Young man, why are you saying that? We picked these peaches to sell to you. Why accuse us of being deceitful? Lin Ke sat in the car and after listening replied indifferently, if you sell so cheap, you must want to get rid of inferior goods. Hearing this, the woman couldn't hold back her anger and shouted, what you're saying is slandering us. Our peaches are top quality. You can choose each fruit, and if you find a bad one, we'll replace it. Zhang Xiaoyu felt they seemed very genuine and grabbed Lin Ke's arm, saying, Brother Lin, this woman's peaches are cheaper than others. Since we're already here, why not go take a look? Seeing Zhang Xiaoyu's enthusiastic persuasion, Lin Ke softened a bit. All right, take us to have a look. At their peach orchard, Lin Ke and Zhang Xiaoyu were led in to see and choose. The woman pointed to the shelves holding peaches and said, everyone come take a look. All the peaches we have are here. Not a single one is spoiled. Zhang Xiaoyu and Lin Ke stepped forward to choose. Zhang Xiaoyu cheerfully said, the quality is really good. All the peaches must be fine, right? Hearing this, the woman picked up a peach, handed it to her, and said, you two can check freely. Young lady, don't hesitate. Just pick one up and try it. Upon hearing this, Zhang Xiaoyu eagerly took the peach and took a bite. Her face showed surprise at the flavor. Zhang Xiaoyu quickly handed a peach to Lin Ke, excitedly saying, Lin, this peach is so sweet. Come and taste it. Lin Ke inspected the peach, a bit skeptical, and asked, your peaches are no different from others. Why are you selling them so cheap? The two orchard owners looked a bit troubled upon hearing this. The woman replied, these peaches were picked some time ago. If we don't sell them, keeping them is useless. Her husband added, but the shipping costs are on you. I won't make much money. While they were talking, suddenly a man's voice came from outside, sounding very aggressive. What's going on with Liu Lauer's place? He appeared to be the owner of another peach orchard leading a large group, angrily saying, everyone else is selling for $4 and you're selling for $3. Do you want to compete with everyone? Seeing this, the woman selling peaches stepped forward and replied, it's my business how much I sell. What does it have to do with you? Don't meddle in other people's affairs. He immediately disagreed, saying, but isn't your action benefiting them? How will the peaches in the village be sold in the future? Her husband, sensing the tense situation, approached to intervene. He chuckled awkwardly and said, the price they'd offered is $3, while everyone else is selling for $4. They definitely won't buy. Moreover, if we wait another 10 days, these peaches will spoil. We can't compete with them. If we can sell, then we should sell. The old man couldn't contain his anger. He clenched his fist and yelled, even if they spoil, I won't sell to these people. If you can't buy, you'll end up losing anyway. Let's see who fears whom. Hearing this, she closed her eyes and crossed her arms, bluntly responding, my son is still waiting to pay his tuition. Regardless, we have to sell at this price. There's no other way to compete with them. Lin Ke and Xiao Yu, who had been listening for a while, felt annoyed. He wiggled his ears and spoke. All right, let's stop arguing. Lin Ke said seriously, we came here to buy your goods, but we don't intend to deceive anyone. So how about $3.5? That should be an ideal price for everyone, right? The old man calmed down and asked, do you want to buy that batch of peaches for $3.5? Lin Ke replied, we are streamers and plan to live stream to support the agricultural market. Since it's an agricultural market, we need to help everyone make money. Moreover, the price of $3.5 is reasonable. If everyone is okay with it, I will take all. Hearing this, their eyes lit up with joy at the affordable price. The old man rushed over to grab Lin Ke's hand and said happily, "Boss, that's great. Will you send someone to pick up the peaches? They're all in the warehouse, and each one is good, so don't worry." Lin Ke also cheerfully pointed to CLU and replied, "I'll send someone to pick up the goods and pay shortly." Everyone followed this girl to count the goods, then get ready to leave. After hearing this, everyone scrambled around CLU to check the inventory. The weather today was very pleasant, and birds perched on the power lines chirped sweetly. The old man went outside to see Lin Ke and CLU off and said, "We will go back to prepare. This matter is settled, so we can't back out." Lin Ke quickly replied, "Don't worry." The two of them began to turn away. CLU seemed a bit worried and said to Lin Ke, "Brother Lin, I roughly calculated that it's about over 2 million kilograms. Excluding the weight of the peach pits, it could make about 2 million kilograms of jam. What if we can't sell it?" Lin Ke was unconcerned and calmly replied, "If we can't sell it all, we can use it ourselves, and if there's still some left, we can take it back as gifts for the workers. After all, it's not a big issue." CLU felt relieved after hearing it and gave a thumbs up in admiration. "You really are a wealthy person." Lin Ke smiled charmingly, responding and making CLU blush. "Next time you want to compliment me, you can skip the first 3 words." At Lang Yun Corporation, Lin Ke was informed, "Boss Lin, Miss Jang, just now Mr. Ma from the jam factory said that if we weigh 500 grams per jar of peach jam, we could produce 2 million jars. The total cost per jar is about $5, and we could sell it for $30. Selling 6 jars seems reasonable." Lin Ke did not say much and replied, "This price is fine. It's cheap enough." CLU expressed some concern, saying, "Actually, our price isn't cheap at all." She showed Lin Ke the sales app and said, "The sales app uses frozen fruit from last year, and they can make a similar jar for under $2, selling it for $20, much cheaper than us." Seeing the situation getting a bit complicated, Lin Ke also checked other products and replied, "That does seem a bit challenging." CLU looked dejected, resting one hand on her forehead, showing signs of fatigue while holding a stack of paperwork in her other hand. She said, "All right, let's not argue anymore." Lin Ke still believed in the quality of this jam, saying, "We have to stick to the path of quality. Going back to the purchasing and production process, I believe many will buy because of the quality." Feeling that Lin Ke's idea was great, CLU jumped up and looked at Lin Ke, saying, "This idea is good. I'll be in charge of these things, and tomorrow we'll go to film the procurement process." The next day in Shuanghong town, Lin Ke and CLU finally arrived at the factory to hand over the canned food production. The factory director warmly welcomed them upon their arrival. "Boss Lin, Miss Jang, you are here." This man was Zhao Zhengke, the director of Dingsing Canned Food Factory. Zhao Zhengke shook hands with Lin Ke. Lin Ke took off his glasses and put them in his pocket, then said, "Sorry for being late." CLU started to hold the camera to record the entire process. While filming, she enthusiastically introduced to everyone through the camera, "Hello all dear fans, today we will take you to see the extremely juicy peach orchard." The footage showed everyone marveling at the fresh, bright peaches, creating a sense of peace. At this moment on the road, many cars were moving. A man sitting in his car while smoking muttered angrily, "Damn, what does that kid have to dare to come and steal our business?" This middle-aged man was Shi Jianqiang, the director of the fruit processing workshop. The driver was driving for him when he heard and said, "It seems that the Zhonghai side has come here. I've heard that 2 streamers have bought up all the fruit, wanting to make peach jam to sell in a live stream." Hearing this, Shi Jianqiang got angry because of the competition and said, "Just small-time streamers daring to block my path? Hurry up. Let's go see what these 2 look like who are stealing my business. They must be tired of living." His driver then stepped on the gas to meet them. At this time, Lin Ke and CLU were still busy filming the entire process of making jam in the canned goods workshop. Both were eating peaches while introducing everyone to their deliciousness. Behind them, Shi Jianqiang was fuming as he walked over and he shouted for them to stop. Hearing the voice of a stranger, Lin Ke and Xiao Yu, who were filming, did not understand what was happening and turned to look. Shi Jianqiang, puffing on a cigarette, furrowed his brow and asked in a gruff tone, "Who gave you permission to buy things here?" Lin Ke, with a face showing no fear, bit into the juicy peach in his hand and replied, "I bought it. Do you have any objections?" Shi Jianqiang took the cigarette out of his mouth, exhaled a puff of smoke, and angrily said, "Hasn't anyone told you that the goods in Shuanghong town are being watched by us, and no one else is allowed to buy them?" One of the guys approached and whispered to Lin Ke, "Man, don't be impulsive. They used to come to the town to buy peaches, but the prices were too low and we didn't sell. These guys seem very terrible, not even talking about morality. Take your time and talk it out with them. If that doesn't work, call the police because they brought a lot of people and want to fight, and you will be at a disadvantage. After hearing his friend, Lin Ke calmly replied, "It won't be a loss. Everyone go over there to explain to them. I'll handle it myself." Upon hearing Lin Ke, his friend slowly approached Shi Jianqiang to talk. He was a bit hesitant and awkwardly said, "People in our village have come to an agreement. We don't want to." Before he could finish, Shi Jianqiang kicked him hard in the stomach, causing him to cough up saliva. The kick made him fall to the ground. He raised his fist angrily and said, "Knowing that the goods in your village are being watched by us, you still dare to sell to others?" Before he could finish, a hand quickly came close to Shi Jianqiang's face. It was a heavy slap from Lin Ke, causing him to spit out the cigarette he had in his mouth. Both the workshop owner and everyone nearby were left speechless at the sight of Lin Ke slapping him. After being slapped painfully, Shi Jianqiang clutched his swollen cheek and angrily said, "Do you want to die? How dare you hit me?" Without saying much to him, Lin Ke directly kicked him from underneath his chin, causing Shi Jianqiang to fall backward onto the ground. One side of his cheek was already swollen and bruised. This left his subordinates standing around in shock. Feeling excruciating pain, he noticed that his followers were still not moving. He angrily shouted, "What are you standing here for? Hurry up and do something." Lin Ke continued to smile at him while he remained lying on the ground. The boy lightly cracked his knuckles and disdainfully said, "You better know your limits. Can you even get back up after lying down?" He confidently added a fatal line, "I can't guarantee that." A group of people charged forward one after another, trying to hit him while shouting, "We have so many people. Are we scared of just you? Let's go, everyone!" With just a swift punch, the first person was knocked down with a swollen cheek. As he hit the ground, Lin Ke immediately shouted, "Come on, keep going. Who's next?" Seeing him take down their man so quickly, they were a bit hesitant. Noticing their fear, Lin Ke couldn't hold back and shouted, "What are you standing there for? Are you in a fight with your eyes?" The subordinates, terrified, raised their hands in surrender and said, "No, we won't do it again. We'll leave right now." After saying that, they quickly turned to leave on their bikes. Lin Ke remained calm as if nothing happened and turned to the others. "All right, continue with the purchasing." Since Xiao Yu had not turned off the camera and they were still live streaming, many people joined to watch. Xiao Yu, grinning, said, "Brother Lin, our live room is booming. A lot of female fans are saying they want to marry you, and some even want to have your children." Lin Ke patted Zhang Xiao Yu on the shoulder and said, "The trouble has been resolved. I'm heading back to Shanghai now. Please take care of things here." Xiao Yu happily replied, Okay, I got it, Brother Lin." As Lin Ke was heading to his car, he received a call from Zhang Dingchun. Her voice was panicked. "Teacher Lin, it's not good. Our equipment is having issues. We can't produce anything." Lin Ke asked worriedly, "What problem did the equipment have?" "Don't rush. Wait for me at the workshop. I will come over and check it now." A little later, at the workshop of electronic and telecommunications equipment, Zhang Dingchun was waiting. Lin Ke rushed in and asked, "What happened?" Zhang Dingchun said, "A moment ago, the welding machine had a problem, and upon inspection, the glue intake machines also had issues. The technician said this problem seems very difficult to handle, and we need to buy new equipment." Lin Ke asked next, "Who discovered this issue?" Zhang Dingchun pointed to the side. It was Teacher Ho. He shook hands and greeted, "Hello, Boss Lin. I am the new workshop manager of electronic and telecommunications equipment. My name is Hu Jilin. These devices are not impossible to repair, but the repair costs are very high. After repairing, their lifespan will also decrease." Lin Ke asked Teacher Ho, "Then what do you think is the reason for the sudden malfunction of the equipment?" Jilin replied, "That's hard to say. It could be due to unstable voltage, causing the electrical components in the machines to burn out. Or the equipment has been in use for a long time, so faults keep appearing one by one." Zhang Dingchun looked worried. "Having so many devices malfunction at once, if we order now, it will take at least a month to factor in installation time. Additionally, there will be a long testing period before we can start production." Lin Ke already had a plan, he said. "Everyone here continue to check the other equipment to see if there are any more issues. Zhang Dingchun, you come to the office with me for a moment." They walked to the office. Zhang Dingchun felt guilty. "Teacher Lin, I will accept any criticism you have for me." Lin Ke replied gently, Why would I scold you? This matter doesn't even concern you." Zhang Dingchun's eyes filled with tears. "This is my responsibility, and since there's a problem, I must take responsibility." Lin Ke reached out to wipe her tears to comfort her. "This isn't your fault. Someone intentionally caused trouble. Otherwise, we wouldn't have so many issues." Zhang Dingchun buried her head in his shoulder. "It's all my fault. I'm too foolish." Lin Ke patted her head and said, "Really, it's not your fault. Suddenly, Stag Dingchun kissed Lin Ke, startling him, and he wrapped his arms around her. Just as they were hugging affectionately, there was a knock on the door. Jang Dingchun quickly hid under the desk, while Lin Ke sat up straight in his chair and called out, "Come in." Jang Dingchun sat nervously under the desk. Teacher Hu walked in, handed over some documents, and said, "Boss Lin, I have revised some equipment documents for you to check." He turned around looking for someone. "Where is Director Wang?" Lin Ke awkwardly replied, "She is in the restroom." Jang Dingchun, sitting under the desk, got accidentally kicked by Lin Ke, and she didn't dare to speak but pinched his leg. Lin Ke cried out in pain. "Ah." Teacher Ho startled and asked, "Boss Lin, what's wrong?" Lin Ke, suppressing his pain, replied, "Ah, it's fine. Just leave those documents there. There's nothing more to worry about. You can go outside." Teacher Hu went outside and closed the door. At this time, Lin Ke supported Jang Dingchun and asked, "Ha, are you okay? Get up." Jang Dingchun sat on Lin Ke's lap, the two of them being affectionate with each other. Lin Ke leaned in and took a light breath. "It smells great." Jang Dingchun, her eyes sparkling, replied, "I knew you were coming, so I specially wore perfume." She looked very satisfied. She asked, "Earlier you mentioned someone was deliberately causing trouble. Have we dealt with electronic engineering and new electronic?" Lin Ke kissed her ear and whispered, "They are just two pawns. Behind that curtain must be Zhang Heiyong from Tai Dian." He gently pulled Jang Dingchun's shirt down. After that, the two continued discussing work. Jang Dingchun asked, "Tai Dian, I know this enterprise is famous worldwide, but with such a big separation between our two companies, they don't need to act like this." Lin Ke said, "It must be due to an evil heart." He continued, "By the way, how'd your writing skill?" Jang Dingchun happily replied, "I'm pretty good. Back in college, I used to write on the bulletin board." Lin Ke handed her a set of documents and said, "Take a look at this part of the document and revise the issues in it. Write an article in the third person stating that this matter is all Tai Dian's trick." Jang Dingchun was worried. "If we do that, wouldn't we be confronting Tai Dian? What benefit would that bring us?" Lin Ke explained, "We are not confronting Tai Dian head on. Don't worry, just do as I say." He further advised, "Once you finish writing, just post it directly. I'm going to meet Hao Jing-tu. These matters require public relations." Jang Dingchun happily complied. "I understand, Master Lin." At a bar, Lin Ke approached Hao Jing-tu. She saw him and greeted, "Boss Lin." Lin Ke felt a bit sentimental upon hearing that. "I've resolved all your issues, and here you are speaking to me in that tone, making me feel sad." Jing-tu cheerfully replied, "You are the investor of the boss of our company. Why should I struggle with my partner? Please sit down. I'll treat you to a drink." Lin Ke picked up his glass and said, "I really like straightforward people like you." Cao Jing-tu continued, "The last time you reached out to me was to trap a pharmaceutical company. Who do you want to trap this time?" Lin Ke decisively replied, "Tai Dian." Cao Jing-tu exclaimed in surprise, "You mean Tai Dian, the monopoly group in the chip technology industry?" Lin Ke reminded her, "We can." Lin Ke made a phone call. He Yunyuan transferred the investment funds from the Wei Financial Group into electronic and telecommunications equipment, and then, under the name of Longside Technology, write a proclamation. Remember to separate electronic and telecommunications equipment from Longside Technology. Yunyuan replied, "Easy. I will go to the company and handle it tomorrow." The next morning, Lin Ke was still sleeping in bed when someone called. He woke up to answer the phone. "Hello?" The person on the other end replied, "It's An Shen." An Shen said, "I saw the news online. Are you planning to declare war on Tai Dian?" Lin Ke responded, "I originally didn't want to, but they keep bothering me. It's too annoying now, and I don't want to sit idly by." An Shen expressed concern. "But if you do that, the relationship between the two sides will be shattered. Next, they will take action against Lang Yun Corporation." Lin Ke got out of bed. "Don't worry about this, Aunt. I'm not stupid enough to pit Lang Yun Corporation against them. Someone else will take the blame for this. Not only will we stop them, but we can also scare them off." An Shen replied, "Then go ahead and do it. If you have any questions, just call me." Lin Ke answered, "Okay." At noon in the office, everyone was in a meeting. Lin Ke walked in and asked, "How's it going?" Has Tai Dian responded yet? A female employee replied, "You had Jang Dingchun write that proclamation, but not many people believe it. The scale of electronic and telecommunications equipment is too small. Many people have turned their backs. There are a lot of critical articles appearing, and now everyone sees this as a joke." Lin Ke calmly said, "The words of some trash should not be taken seriously. How do the people in the industry react?" CEO Ham replied, "The reactions from those in the industry are very calm. They just see this as a joke. A gray-haired female employee added, "Boss, I feel that what you are doing is falling into their trap. The factory has encountered some issues and you have pushed all the responsibility onto Tai Dian. Although that is the truth, basically no one believes it." Lin Ke calmly responded, "I know this. It's exactly what I want to achieve." The team of employees thought to themselves, "It seems like the boss has some earth-shattering plan." Suddenly, Lin Ke's phone rang and he answered. The person on the other end said, "Boss Lin, this is Zhang Heiyang. Why do you dare to do this, to splash dirty water on us?" Lin Ke replied, "I don't see anything wrong with this. What you did, don't you know? Justice may arrive late, but it will never fail to show up. So don't rush. I believe the truth of the matter will eventually come to light." Zhang Heiyang said, "I advise you not to waste money on public relations anymore. After all, you're about to go bankrupt." Lin Ke angrily hung up and said, "Get lost, I'm too lazy to talk to you." He then turned to ask the employees, "CEO Han, I asked you yesterday to prepare the announcement. Is it done?" CEO Han replied, "It's ready." She brought the computer in front of Lin Ke for him to see. General Manager Han said, "The main content is primarily related to this investment, without mentioning the competition between us and Tai Dian." Lin Ke said, "In addition to this, write another article. It's time to show some feelings." The group of employees looked puzzled. Feelings? Lin Ke explained, "Everyone, think about it. The fact that Vay Financial Group is investing in us in everyone's eyes means that electronic and telecommunications equipment is viewed as a foreign enterprise. At this moment, if Tai Dian wants to stir things up, what does that signify?" The short-haired employee enthusiastically said, "This move from the boss is brilliant. It immediately pulls Tai Dian into a confrontation with Vay Financial Group, placing them on opposing sides." Lin Ke took the car key from the table and casually left. The gray-haired employee stood up abruptly, panicking. "Where is the boss going? This matter is not resolved yet." Lin Ke replied, "Overtime is your business. The boss is off work now." In Ru Yu's office, she said to her mother, "Mom, quickly check the news about electronic and telecommunications equipment and Tai Dian." Ru Yu's mother responded, "I saw it since this morning." Ru Yu continued, "Through this commotion from Lin Ke, it can be seen that the two sides have been divided. Do you think Lin Ke can win?" Her mother replied, "With his skills, what are you worried about? He already had Zhao Mo's group spinning around him. You should trust his abilities." Ru Yu said, "Lin Ke's ability is beyond doubt, but this time it's Zhang Yimu. I'm afraid he will face difficulties." Her mother then said, "You're not worried about him getting hurt, but you're afraid that after he fails, he won't be able to stand up again, right?" Ru Yu answered lazily, "It's mostly because Lin Ke is too arrogant. This blow will be a fatal one for him." Her mother took a dress out of her bag, wanting to change the subject. "This is the dress I just bought. Isn't it beautiful? The charity event is a few days away, and I will wear it." Ru Yu said, "Mom, don't be evasive. We haven't finished talking about what just happened. If something happens to Lin Ke, how should we handle it?" Her mother smiled awkwardly. "I'm not a deity. How can I know so much? That kid Lin Ke has many plans. He surely won't let himself suffer losses. Just stay calm and see what he can do." Ru Yu picked up her phone anxiously. "I'm not sure how this news will be twisted." She stood up abruptly, panicked. "Oh no, things have become more complicated." Ru Yu's mother also worriedly asked, "Complicated? What has happened?" Ru Yu held up her phone and happily said, "There are two new articles here. Electronic and telecommunications equipment is a company invested in by the Vay Financial Group. From a commercial perspective, it belongs to a foreign enterprise." Ru Yu's mother excitedly said, "This move by Lin Ke is brilliant. No matter what Zhang Yimu does, he can withdraw safely. It can be said that, in any case, he won't suffer any losses." Ru Yu hugged her phone and calmly said, "What on earth is in Lin Ke's mind?" At the Sangala Hotel, Vedana was sitting in her room. She was absent-mindedly playing with her hair while glancing gloomily at the computer. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door, and Vedana said, "Come in." Vahara opened the door and exclaimed in panic, "Sister, have you seen the news online? We have been played by Lin Ke." Vedana calmly sipped her tea and replied, "Calm down, there's no need to be so angry. We haven't lost anything. With the economic standing of the Va family, this kind of incident fundamentally cannot shake our roots. In a while, things will return to normal." Vahara, with a dark expression, said, "Sister, our family has already issued a notice. They are telling us to act quickly. This cannot drag on any longer." Vedana merely waved her hand to brush Vahara off and said, "I have my own plans for this. You go out first." Following her sister's advice, Vahara left and closed the door. He wore a sinister smile and said, "It's just that there hasn't been a reason to take action yet. Thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity." At midnight, in the quiet of Jujiaoji, Lin Ke was on the phone with Aunt Shen. Aunt Shen said, "Tai Dian has already made a move. The man named Zhang Heiyong has been fired. The stock prices are beginning to fluctuate, but the Wei Financial Group hasn't made a sound. They might do something else, so you must keep an eye on it. Lin Ke replied, "Yes, thank you, Shen." Then he hung up the phone. The next morning, at electronic and telecommunications equipment, Ding Chun was in the office reviewing the bill receipts. Suddenly, Lin Ke came up from behind and hugged her waist, asking, "What are you busy with?" Ding Chun said, "Teacher Lin, Master Hu has resigned. I find this a bit strange." Lin Ke asked in confusion, "Resigned?" Ding Chun replied, "Yes, I think the equipment malfunction might be related to him, but I have no evidence." Lin Ke then said, "It doesn't matter if you have no evidence. Call the police and we will investigate to find the evidence." Ding Chun answered, "Understood, Teacher Lin." Then she handed the stack of receipts to Lin Ke and said, "Also, I have contacted the equipment workshop to order new equipment. The cameras have been installed, ensuring that nothing like this will happen again." Lin Ke flipped through the receipts and said, "You can handle this on your own. Just go ahead boldly." Ding Chun replied, "Thank you, Teacher Lin." Suddenly, the ringing of a phone came from Lin Ke's jacket pocket. Lin Ke opened it to see an unknown number. He answered the call, and the person on the line said, "May I ask if this is Mr. Lin?" Lin Ke replied, "That's right." The person continued, "I am the general manager of Tai Dian Zhang Zhenhao. Regarding the matters from the past few days, I would like to talk to you." Lin Ke coldly responded, "But I don't want to talk to you." Zhenhao then said, "Our two companies have many overlapping businesses. Why not shake hands and reconcile? We could achieve mutual benefits." Lin Ke replied, "If you truly had such intentions, you wouldn't have engaged in such unethical practices from the very beginning." Zhenhao said, "Let me introduce myself again. Zhang Yimu is my father." He continued, "The purpose of this call is to ask Mr. Lin to remove the inaccurate news from the internet." Lin Ke replied, "I thought you were someone impressive. You are not qualified to intervene in this matter. Tell your father to come here. It would not be fun to play with you." Meanwhile, Lin Ke was teasing Ding Chun. At Lang Yun Corporation, a female employee carrying a stack of documents knocked on the door and called out, "Boss Lin." She entered the room and began to report. "The items needed for the live stream have been ordered. 1 bucket of pickled radish for $30, 1 bag of tea for $49, but Miss COU added a few more items. The total cost of the products is about $1 billion, including packaging fees." Lin Ke then asked, "Is this price competitive in the market?" The female employee replied dejectedly, "Not at all." Lin Ke asked again, "Is there no advantage at all?" The answer he received was still no. The female employee said, "I usually watch live stream sales too. The hottest streamer sells the same item for 20% less, and they even give away some random freebies." Lin Ke pointed at the stack of documents and said, "I still have an advantage with the product itself." The female employee replied, "But people don't know about those things. For them, the lowest price is the most important." Lin Ke turned away and said, "Then we will end up with excess inventory that we can't sell." In a room, a girl said, "The cameras have been installed to ensure that such things won't happen again." Lin Ke then responded, "It's easy to say, but what I mean is if we can't sell the leftovers, it won't benefit anyone." "Don't worry," a girl continued. "Boss Lin, you really are the best uncle in the world." "All right," the girl said. "Since we can't surpass the upper management, we don't need to push the purchase price down anymore." At this moment, the girl handed Lin Ke a file. He took it and said, "If it's a farmer's market, then we should let people make a little profit. Let's arrange it that way." The girl smiled and said, "Got it, boss. When the live stream starts, I will come to cheer." After saying that, she walked to the door and saw Tian Dian. She said, "CEO Tian, you're here." Tian Dian simply responded, "Ah." Entering the room, Tian Dian walked over and placed a folder on Lin Ke's desk, then said, "Boss Lin, tomorrow is the day long site goes public. A small inauguration ceremony has been arranged. Do you want to participate?" Lin Ke picked up the folder to look at it and said, "Going public so soon?" Tian Dian replied, "Not exactly soon, but Boss Lady G said you were busy, so some matters were not communicated to you. Since you happen to be at the company today, Boss Lady G asked me to come here to check with you." Lin Ke held up 5 fingers and continued, "I don't like to be in the spotlight either. Ask if Mr. Shen is willing to go. If he doesn't want to, arrange for someone else." Tian Dian held the folder and responded, "Understood, Boss Lin. I've heard that you have a live stream sale coming up in a few days." Lin Ke leaned back in his chair and said with a laugh, "Why is it such a big deal? Even you know about it?" Tian Dian replied, "Do you need me to find some beautiful girls from the company to help out?" Lin Ke was a bit surprised and responded, "Ha ha ha, I'm just an ordinary streamer." Lifting her skirt slightly to reveal her smooth white thigh, Tian Dian turned around and said, "Boss Lin, how do you find me?" This left Lin Ke startled. At this moment, he was thinking, according to professional regulations, only the boss has unspoken rules. How many female subordinates want to establish the boss's unspoken rules? After thinking this, Lin Ke smiled and spoke. All right then. In a tall building, Lin Ke walked in. At this moment, Tony came out from inside and said, "Hello, are you the handsome mask? I'm Tony, representing Lai Chengsing." Tony smiled brightly and extended his hand. Lin Ke responded at this moment. "Ha, hairstylist, I didn't make an appointment for a haircut." Tony crossed his arms and said, "Mr. Lin, this is not funny. Moreover, it doesn't matter that you don't know me. As long as you know who my Lai Chengsing is, that's enough." Lin Ke turned around and replied, "I don't know who Lai Chengsing is." Tony showed his anger and said, "Mr. Lin, are you joking with me? Lai Chengsing is an icon in the entertainment industry. You don't know who he is. Don't you usually watch movies?" Lin Ke sat down and replied, "I'm sorry, but I really don't know." Tony laughed and said, "Mr. Lin, you should know your place. Although you are a popular streamer right now, with your current viewership, you basically can't surpass our Lai Chengsing. Don't try to act superior." Lin Ke responded, "You guys came to my live room. Do you really want to take charge?" Upon hearing this, Tony simply responded with a hut and continued, "Mr. Lin, I feel there's something wrong with your character. We don't need to collaborate anymore. I will clarify this with your app owner and you can bear the consequences." After saying that, he turned around angrily. Lin Ke remained sitting there and replied, "Got it. No need to see you off." After hearing Lin Ke's words, Tony stepped out of the building. A call came in. Lin Ke picked up the phone and thought, Yuan must be talking about going public, right? Currently, a voice came from the phone. "How's everything going? Smoothly, I hope." Lin Ke replied on the phone, "Quite smoothly," but after finishing things, another issue came up. Yuan on the other end replied, "After going public, a lot of news related to Longsai emerged. Accordingly, the stock prices are fluctuating. We are very likely to become the company facing the most difficulties during its IPO. We started shaking even before going public." Lin Ke slammed the table and said, "Something big has happened. Has anyone found out anything?" Yuan responded from the other end, "We've investigated. There are people playing tricks. Moreover, I feel that with your capabilities, you should be able to handle it. The porridge at the exchange is quite good." Lin Ke stepped out of the building and said, "You food lover, send those posts to my phone. I'm heading back to the company now." His mouse clicked, and a lot of information about Longsai stocks appeared. At Langyun Corporation, Ji King Ren jumped up and said, "This is clearly an attempt to harm someone. There is not the slightest sense of ethics, yet some people still believe it." Yuan raised the spoon in his hand and said, "Look at who posted these articles. Many are from legitimate media companies. Perhaps someone is helping." Lin Ke spoke up. The mastermind behind his back was plotting tricks. Then those who were hostile to him added fuel to the fire, thus creating the current situation. King Red replied, "But real gold doesn't fear fire. I believe it won't be long before the truth comes out." Yuan, holding a cup of coffee, chimed in, "I'll hold a press conference to clarify this matter. After all, we need to show some attitude." King Ren, looking at the computer, replied angrily, "Is there any evidence? Has an investigation been done? How can you rely on such dirty words to tarnish a good company like ours in Zonghai?" Lin Ke walked over, placed a hand on King Ren's shoulder, and smiled. "Boss, don't be so angry. There's no need for that. You should learn from Yuan and stay calm. Even with a major incident like this, we can still have some porridge." Upon hearing this, King Ren looked up and said, "Ha, I'm angry because I'm the boss. The losses are our money too. As for the stocks, fluctuations are just temporary. There's no need to worry too much." Lin Ke continued, "The research funds of Longsai are all our money. Therefore, a drop in the stock price won't change anything." With a thoughtful expression, Lin Ke said, "In fact, the person playing tricks behind the scenes must have a complex purpose. I think the other party is waiting for the right time to call you. After all, we'll need to find out who is behind this first, and then act step by step. Don't pay attention to these articles anymore. That's right, today you need to go to this place to visit someone. I'll go with you." The sky is clear blue with white clouds. In the hospital, Kin Han and Lion Jinming stand behind. Kin Han speaks up, "This is your sister-in-law, right? You're really lucky." Lin Ke hands Kin Han some bags and says, "Hey, you have to bring something when you come." Jinming stands in front of Lin Ke and says, "Brother Lin, were you a cardiologist before? Moreover, you're quite skilled. Think of a way to extend life for a few more years." Lin Ke replies, "At this point, I can only helplessly wait. Given the Gao family's status, they must have found the best doctor in the world. They are using the best medicine. Therefore, I can't do anything more." After saying this, the four of them go to the elevator and crest for the 18th floor. What's going on? Kin Han looks at the floor numbers and says, "Isn't broken. Try pressing other floors. It might be a problem with the elevator." Kin Han responds, "The 17th floor works." Upon hearing this, Lin Ke continues, "Then let's go to the 17th floor." They go up one floor and manage to press for the 17th floor. The four of them step out of the elevator. What's going on? The stairway is locked by an iron door. Kin Han picks up the lock and looks at it, then says, "The elevator can't go up and the stairs are locked. Is the 18th floor restricted?" At this moment, King Ren speaks up. "I read a horror novel before that mentioned this. Every hospital's 18th floor has some secret that is not meant to be known by others." Lin Ke was holding King Ren and said, "Don't talk nonsense. Find someone to ask for details about what happened." Someone approached and said, "What's wrong with you all? Why are you standing here?" The nurse pointed at everyone and said, "The upper floor is only for the families of the leaders. Do you really think you can go in?" Lin Ke replied, "If we're not allowed in, then we're not allowed in. Had you taken explosive medicine, or are you going through perimenopause?" At this moment, King Ren patted Lin Ke's chest and said, "We want to go to the 18th floor to visit a patient. Why is everything locked up like this?" The nurse responded, "The 18th floor is a VIP floor, and ordinary people are not allowed in. Without a hospital certificate, no one can enter." King Ren raised her phone with an incoming call and said, "We're calling the family members. Had they come to pick us up?" The nurse crossed her arms and replied, "No, you need to leave here quickly." Liu Shou ran over from a distance and shouted, "Lin Ke!" The nurse looked at the person and called out, "Director Liu." Liu Shou responded, "What's with your attitude?" At this moment, Liu Shou shook hands with Lin Ke and said, "Director Lin, what a coincidence to see you here." Lin Ke asked in surprise, "Ha, who are you?" Liu Shou replied, "I'm the director of the orthopedics department, Liu Shou." Liu Shou warmly greeted, "Director Lin," you responded, but were blocked outside. The nurse standing a distance away watched the conversation between the two with some surprise. Liu Shou took his card and swiped it at the elevator door, then said, "I'll swipe the elevator for you, just go on up." Kin Han suddenly became anxious. He wondered if this violated any regulations. Liu Shou smiled and replied, "Regulations are just regulations." He gestured towards the elevator and announced, "You can go up now." Lin Ke responded, "Thank you." After that, the four of them entered the elevator together. As they were going up, the nurse turned to Liu Shou and asked, "Director Liu, do you know that man?" He angrily turned to answer, "I'll tell you, Director Lin was previously the head of the cardiology department at Huashan Hospital." This answer left the nurse extremely startled. Liu Shou frowned again, pointing towards the elevator and continued, "Today, even if the hospital director meets him again, he must politely address him as Director Lin." The nurse looked a bit frightened, her face flushed, and she hurriedly rushed outside. She quickly took a towel to wipe the sweat off her face and stammered, "Is he really that capable?" Kin Han, following Lin Ke, kept praising, "Boss Lin is amazing. This face could work in the hospital too." After a while, they arrived at room 1801. As soon as they reached the door, they heard a voice. "Come in." Inside was a middle-aged woman. She greeted them warmly. "Why didn't you give me a heads up?" "Come, sit down." Then she took Kin Han's hand and asked about his work. "Is work busy these days?" Kin Han smiled and replied, "It's going fine." He pointed at Jai King Ren and Lin Ke, then introduced, "Aunt Fang, let me introduce you. This is Lin Ke. Song Yuan must have mentioned him, and this is his girlfriend, the CEO of Zhao Yang Group, Jai King Ren." Her son also stepped forward to wave and greet. "Brother Kin, brother Lin, sister-in-law." Suddenly, the old woman in the sickbed opened her eyes. She started to cough softly. Seeing this, the middle-aged woman joyfully exclaimed, "Ma, you're awake." She approached the sick and said happily, "Mom, sit up and take a look. There are visitors for you." The elderly woman lying in the bed glanced around at everyone and smiled gently before asking, "Ah, so many people came to visit me. How lovely. Song Yuan, when you were little, the clock on the wall struck past 12 noon. The middle-aged woman suggested, "It's getting late. I'll call Song Yuan. Let's all go out for lunch." Kin Han quickly waved his hand in refusal. "We're not outsiders. No need to be too polite. My company has matters to attend to, so I'll head back first. We'll come again when we have time." The woman replied, "That's too bad. You kids came and won't have a meal." Just as they reached the door, Lin Ke waved goodbye to her before leaving. He didn't forget to remind her, "It's all right. Next time I'll come. Just stay with her. No need to see us off." They entered the elevator. The elevator started moving down to the first floor. As soon as the elevator doors opened, someone called Lin Ke. He immediately asked, "Hello, Tianian, what's going on?" On the other end of the line, Tianian reported, "Boss Lin, Long Say stock has dropped by 5%. It might hit the bottom line tonight. Lin Ke calmly replied, I know, don't hurry, no need to pay attention to this. He instructed Tina Nian. You all just do your jobs, don't worry about this. Tina Nian responded, got it, Boss Lin. Kinahan looked at Lin Ke curiously and asked, what happened? He sighed and recounted, Longside went public and someone from behind is pulling tricks. The stock started to drop yesterday and haven't stopped since. Kinahan was not only untroubled, but he also smiled and replied, it's unique in Huaxia that stocks drop right after they go public. He asked, don't you have any way to handle it? This little issue shouldn't be a big deal for you, right? Lin Ke, with a tense expression, replied, I feel that the other party definitely has some purpose. They might contact me at some point. That's why I'm waiting. Liang Jinming expressed his admiration for Lin Ke, saying, you really have mettle. After 2 days, you will at least have to make up for that $200 billion. Lin Ke responded very calmly, it's just a minor issue. As long as I want it, the stocks will definitely go back up. When the person behind shows up, that's when I will take action. Chi King Ren asserted firmly, besides Tai Dingan, who else could be doing this? Kinahan agreed with her, responding, definitely. He impatiently turned away and said, Tai Dian. They also have the capability. Kinahan suggested, I think we should unite and deal with them. It shouldn't be a big problem. Jai King Ren quickly intervened. Don't be hasty. She offered her opinion. I feel that if we unite and deal with them, it shouldn't be a big problem. If you guys take action, it means challenging many enterprises. Jin Ming put his hand on his chin and thought for a while, finally agreeing with Jai King Ren's opinion. He replied, sister-in-law makes a lot of sense. Kinahan turned around and asked, do we really have to endure like this? Lin Ke smiled and advised everyone, let's not rush. Take it slow. We should adopt a defensive counterattack strategy. We'll react only after understanding the opponent's intentions. Kinahan waved goodbye to him and replied, all right, if you need any help, just let me know. Lin Ke had already stepped out to the car and waved back and instructed, go ahead. Lin Ke pressed the gas pedal of the car. After a moment, the vehicle was cruising along the road. Suddenly, Lin Ke's phone rang loudly. Someone was calling. As soon as Lin Ke answered, a voice on the other end said, Mr. Lin, I am Zhang Zhenhao. It seems your company has encountered quite a bit of trouble since going public recently, hasn't it? He smiled with a sinister look, asking Lin Ke if you wanted to sit down and talk for a bit. I may have a way to help you solve that problem. Lin Ke glanced at Jai King Ren and replied, of course I'm interested. He arranged with Zhang Zhenhao. In an hour, let's meet at Zhang Yifan Tea House. Someone will be there to greet you. On the other end, he replied, got it. Jai King Ren had long recognized Zhang Zhenhao's tricks. She turned to say, that's right, they are the ones playing games. If not, they wouldn't call us at this time. Lin Ke asked, do you have other matters? Let's go together. She replied, let me get off in front. You can handle your own business. Just a moment later, Lin Ke arrived at Zhang Yifan's tea house. As he approached the entrance, a server greeted him. Hello, Mr. Lin. Mr. Zhang instructed us to wait here to take you up. The female server pointed inside and continued, Mr. Lin, Mr. Zhang is waiting for you inside. Lin Ke complimented. He's quite thorough in his preparations. Lin Ke slowly opened the door and stepped into the room. As soon as he entered, a young man stood up and introduced himself. Mr. Lin, you are truly punctual, not a second late. Let me introduce myself. I am Zhang Zhenhao, and this next to me is Vihara. As he spoke, he gestured towards the man sipping tea beside him. Lin Ke, without any hesitation, shouted, your family truly grips tightly and won't let go. I've already said it, yet you still refuse to give up. Vihara calmly stood up, poured a cup of tea, and replied, we have no choice. You possess something we need. I know it's difficult to get you to cooperate with us, so I have another request. I hope you will consider it. With that, he gently placed the teacup on the table. Lin Ke picked up his cup of tea and curiously asked, requests can go ahead. Vihara used sweet-talking to persuade Lin Ke. I hope Mr. Lin can provide us with the results of his research. Of course, we will make trading conditions. You can set your conditions as long as we can fulfill them. We will agree to everything. Lin Ke surprisingly asked back, research results? Vihara replied, your top-notch traditional pharmacology, especially in the area of extracting pure substances from plants. In this regard, you have very unique achievements. Therefore, I hope you can provide us with those research results. Lin Ke slammed the cup of tea down on the table and then responded, you are quite clever, really know how to negotiate. He stood up and answered decisively, but I'm still not interested. Vihara asked again, does Mr. Lin want to give up Long Sai? As far as I know, Long Sai is a part of your business empire, a very important part. Lin Ke turned his head and walked straight to the door, shouting back, I haven't made any moves in the past 2 days. Do you truly think there's nothing I can do? I'm just waiting to see the two of you make fools of yourselves. Don't forget that Longsai is going public. Do you think you can eliminate it? Zhang Zhenhao cheerfully reminded, Mr. Va, I think we shouldn't beat around the bush with him anymore. We should use more decisive tactics. Vahara glanced at him and then asked, What's your method? Tell me so we can cooperate. Zhang Zhenhao held up 2 fingers to deny. No. Our revenge can only stop here. Don't take any more actions. Vahara asked in panic, What does this mean? Does it mean Tai Dian will let it go like this? This is not like your usual behavior at all. He waved his hand in response. What I mean is that if we can teach him a lesson, that would be best. If we can't, then it doesn't matter. After all, you don't believe he can accomplish anything. Our company still needs to stay in Zonghai. Bahara said with a displeased expression, I really didn't expect it. Mr. Zhang is the Prince of Tai Dian, yet he is so timid. Mr. Zhang, take your time. No need to see you off. At the end of the conversation, Zhang Zhenhao waved goodbye and left quietly. Vahara thought to himself, they probably don't know that Longsai's 2.0 technology is extremely successful. This also indicates that they have the potential to develop into 3.0 technology. No, this is a significant threat. Suddenly, a bald man wearing black glasses entered through the door. He was Song Jing'an, the security assistant of the Vey Group. As soon as he entered, he asked, Boss, do you have any instructions? Vahara commanded, You need to bring a team from within the country to his house. The company needs to find these things. He pointed at Song Jian to remind him. Also, he can't conduct that research alone. There must be someone collaborating with him. Any small detail must be thoroughly investigated. The next morning, at the Langyun Corporation building, a meeting took place among the company's leaders. Zhang Xiao Yu asked Lin Ke, Tomorrow night there's a live stream. Has the live location been arranged yet? Do we need to go to the site to check it out? Lin Ke replied while holding a cup of tea. Lai Lin already told me about this. She mentioned that we should make our own arrangements. When the time comes, they will send someone over to handle the adjustments. Zhang Xiao Yu wondered, So does that mean we find a place ourselves, or do we go to the dock to find a boat for the location? Lin Ke tapped the table and asked for her opinion. How about the Bandao Hotel as the location? Zhang Xiao Yu smiled and responded, The Bandao Hotel would be perfect. It's booked for Tuesday at Zhanghai. She pointed out to remind him, Since the Bandao Hotel is very popular, we need to make a reservation in advance. Lin Ke smiled, picked up his phone to check, and replied, That's my business, no need to book, I can arrange it. Hearing this, Zhang Xiao Yu became excited and cheered, continuously praising, Apart from being handsome, I don't know what else to say. As night gradually fell, a large restaurant was still brightly lit in every room. In one of the rooms, a group of people were chatting happily. Lai Weikan, holding a glass of red wine, curiously asked, Brother Guo, how is the sales ability of the handsome mask guy? Guo Expo immediately replied, I don't know either. It's been less than a month since he started live streaming. I have no idea how it will turn out. The confident girl with green hair sitting nearby spoke up. Everyone is worrying a bit too much. My products are the cheapest you can find. In terms of live stream selling, no one can offer a lower price than I do. Who has an advantage over me? Lai Weikan continued to express his concerns. I always have faith in your abilities, but you can never underestimate him. Don't you know about his last live stream? His views and interactions were incredibly high. That's a staggering number. Cool Expo agreed with him and said, Brother Lai is right. I heard that this live stream is at the Bandao Hotel. Moreover, the materials are sourced by him personally. This live stream probably cost quite a bit. The girl with green hair took a sip from her glass, appearing uninterested. Lai Weikan picked up a cigarette and said, This person seems to have no weaknesses. It's very difficult to hold him back. Hu Expo smiled and replied, You can't say that. He does have a few weaknesses. As long as we exploit them, we might be able to bring him down. Lai Weikan widened his eyes, stood up in surprise, and asked, Do you have a plan? Wu Expo proudly responded, Isn't everyone curious why he always wears a mask during his live streams? Lai Weikan then understood and exclaimed, I got it. This guy named Handsome Mask must be ugly. No, it won't be like that. Gu Expo explained with a sly expression. So, we can approach this angle. After all, there are many female viewers watching the live stream. Moreover, they are all the type to judge by appearances. If they discover an unattractive seller, what will they say? The next morning at Bandao Hotel, Zhang Xiao Yu ran after Lin Ke. She called out in a hurry, Lin, something's wrong. Lin Ke turned back and asked, What happened? She pointed at her phone and recounted, There are many videos on the short video app saying you are ugly and that you have built a deceptive image. Lin Ke couldn't help but spit out the water in his mouth after hearing that. What kind of ridiculous rumors are these? Jang Xiaoyu replied anxiously. I feel the same way. We can't just stand by and do nothing. Otherwise, there won't be any point in selling during tomorrow's live stream. I want to post your picture to slap them in the face. I can't hold it in anymore. Seeing her demeanor, Lin Ke laughed. He teased her. I see you're not acting out of indignation for me, but rather to slap them in the face for your own satisfaction, right? Jang Xiaoyu's eyes lit up, and she replied playfully. Don't say that. We've known each other for so long. There's bound to be some feelings, right? Lin Ke then patted her on the back and urged. All right, stop with those useless words. Quickly go arrange the activities. I haven't forgotten to remind you. We have to live stream tonight. We still have a ton of work waiting for us. As Zhang Xiaoyu walked away, she replied, Got it, dear Lin. Lin Ke started putting on his mask. After that, he took a pair of dark sunglasses and put them on before turning to leave when the manager behind called out, Boss Lin. He was startled and turned back to ask, You recognize me, even though I'm dressed like this? The manager replied with a smile, Although you are wearing a mask and sunglasses, these cannot hide your mature male charm. Lin Ke patted him on the shoulder and praised, Since the first day I met you, I felt you had great potential. Turns out I was right. The manager said to Lin Ke, It's been a long time since you've come to the hotel. Why not direct a bit of work for your subordinates? Lin Ke threw his arm around his shoulders and replied, Directing work is off the table, but I do have something I want to delegate to you. As soon as they walked into the room, Lin Ke began to make his request. I want a membership card. You can think of it as a type of identification that allows me to skip lines and forego appointments at certain places. It's like a card that can summon rain and wind, understand? He smiled and asked, Just like a black card, right? Lin Ke replied, Yes, yes, yes. I'll send you a few phone numbers later. They'll be the first batch of members. The manager immediately agreed. I can do that. He thought to himself that such showy matters were best left to Wang Tianlong. Lin Ke took off his sunglasses and walked into a room. Seeing him, Zhang Xiaoyu and the girl in the white dress who were looking at documents both jumped in surprise. The girl in the white dress asked, Have you seen the news online? Are you sure you're not taking off your mask today? Lin Ke smiled confidently, raised his hand to his face, and replied, I'm afraid my handsomeness is too great, and you all can't resist. The girl in the white dress pointed behind her and asked, Have you seen the person behind me yet? All the people working around were staring at Lin Ke with scrutinizing eyes. He wondered, Why are these people, who aren't working, sneaking glances at me? It's one thing for the girls, but why are the guys looking too? The girl in the white dress covered her mouth and whispered, To be honest, everyone is guessing your looks right now. She crossed her arms and seriously reminded him, In a night with so many rumors, you should reveal your face in this live stream. Lin Ke smiled happily, pointed at his face and replied, No way, my girlfriend wouldn't allow it. I should maintain this mystery.